So it's been a long time. Maybe someone hasn't been sad for a long time, or someone hasn't felt like this for a long time. They're like, I heard, why is this happening to me? Ace of Cups. Well, apparently it's trying to open something. It wants you to cleanse. It wants a person to cleanse something. It's trying to give peace to the heart, but the heart is the heart is still hurt by something. It's like, no, everything's fine. It's like, no, it's not. It is not fucking fine. It's like, no, this will fix it. Like, just put this on it. It will fix it. It'll stop the bleeding. And it's just like, no, dude, I have a fucking sword. I have swords through my heart. What are you talking about? Of course, your ever-living water is not going to solve my pain and suffering. So someone could be denying their own religion or denying their own spirituality. It's like they feel far away from it. They're like, no, it doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't work. The Band-Aid that used to be, the thing that used to be that made me feel good is changing. Someone's trying to make somebody feel better too. They're trying so hard. They're like, no, I love you. Like, I love you. I heard, let me help you. Let me help you. I believe that you can change. I believe that that's not, because there's negative and positive here. Very negative and positive. They're like opposite ends of the, it's a yin-yang. It's a yin-yang kind of energy. So it's almost as if two realities are going on at the same time, but there's no I heard there's no difference between, and nothing is coming to like a resolve. So we keep going around. It's like we can't get off the merry-go-round. Let's look at these separately. Let's see this about this pain. Where does this pain, help us to see where this pain comes from so that it can be acknowledged, because it could be something that's known, but it's also something that's compounded. So it could be like a repeat offense, or from the same person, or just like the same situation with different, oh yeah. No, it's a repeat offense. This pain comes from when a person said, somebody goes, hey, you want this? And you said, no. And they were like, nah, dude, take it. Don't you want it? Don't you want it? Don't you want it? Don't you want it? And you're like, no, dude, no. And for some reason, you took it. There's two extremes of this coin. The other side, and I guess this has happened to all of us, because of course one is the other. This is life. It's like, maybe you want to think about this. The times that you said no to something and someone disregarded your boundaries, emotionally, physically, whatever. I also see a situation where a person said no. They denied something. They were like, no fucking way. I ain't taking that. But they wish they said yes. They wish they said yes. And now what we're talking about is moving on from this. So someone has to acknowledge, like, what has happened in some kind of way. Again, where someone has said no, and someone else was just like, no, your answer is your no is a yes. And again, vice versa. Please pause this video. Never come back to it. Just figure out what these answers are, because this is going to help you to release some kind of, I heard, victim mentality in relation to what it means to like what the karmic exchange is between people. Maybe you needed to say no to that person and they said yes. I'm not saying what they did or what was done was right. It wasn't necessarily because it caused pain, which is negative. But that doesn't mean karmically it wasn't meant to be the case, but it also doesn't mean that it needs to be repeated in the future. I could also see that someone's in, if you are in a toxic relationship, family or otherwise, doesn't matter, it could be friendship, toxic relationship, emotional relationship with yourself, like how you relate to your own emotional pain. I could see that that's toxic for somebody too. It's like when a person has to deal with their own pain, it's such a deep, I heard karmic kind of pain, that it's actually toxic, like for the human being, especially emotionally. Maybe this is with the moon, I don't know, but it's intense when a person goes in that, and it's like they've had to, I think when a person has stuck up for themselves or said no and moved on from something, that could also be the residual of it, is like, I had to just keep moving on. Like, I just gotta stay positive. They're gonna help me, right? Like, this is gonna be fine, right? But I don't know if someone's processed a new level of something. Let's see another card on this one. Good. Good. So someone's now going in the right direction. After we sort out what we just talked about. Someone goes in the right direction. They're also trying to wonder, like, how do I get happy? Or, like, how are you happy? How do you deal with this? I'm seeing the Six of Swords right now as a person, like a therapist, where they're like, okay, I gotta help these people get across this river. They're having a hard time. I'm doing most of the legwork. Does it help them? Yes. Does it entail them doing something for themselves? Yes, if they want to advance. But if they don't, then when they get to the next stage, it's just going to bite them in the ass, right? They'll be lying to themselves, like, oh, I didn't even deal with that. Like, I heard it's complicated and all right. But we ended up with the Page of Swords and the Sun, which is, again, like, a person trying to figure out, like, wait, what is happy? Because Three of Swords and Four of Cups is I am definitely not happy. Some of you may, again, karmically had to come into this life to have some pretty significant, I see, redundant, repetitive pains happen. It very uncomfortable. It's like a person became sort of stagnant in and of them own self. Not that they don't have a lot of feelings. They have so many of them. But it's like, I can't show any. I gotta keep it balanced. I gotta keep it calm. I gotta keep it calm, right? I gotta be responsible for this. This is, because a person may even know some way or another, like, this is my karma. I need, the Chariot is, I am emotionally stable as I move forward. Or at least I seem like it, with this big old chest plate on. But when he takes off all the armor, when he gets out of that chariot, when he finally sits down, the only person sitting down in these cards right now are this sad woman, this sad child, and this sad young man. So maybe this has to do with a relationship from long ago. Maybe the mother or father of children. Let's see the Wheel of Fortune. I heard someone say, I miss my friend. Alright, so Wheel of Fortune speaks about change. It's fate involved. We could talk about our own free will and how we go about it, but the reality is they're just things we have to deal with, right? Sometimes it's way more intense than we think. Sometimes it's easier. Again, maybe that seems too simple, but Page of Pentacles, I guess that's what we're learning. So the change is helping a person learn. The change is helping a person stand up, right? Look, the Page of Swords asks the Sun, how am I to be happy? How are you happy? How do I do that? What do I want? It's asking a lot of powerful questions, because Three of Swords and Four of Cups doesn't have any ego. It's like, where do you want to go for dinner? I don't know. Wherever you want to go. It's so passive. It like never has an answer. This is like, who am I and what the heck do I want? That can be done in a very loving way. I mean, how we express that to other people, again, that can be done in a very loving way. It doesn't have to be, I heard, boisterous or grotesque, you know, indefinitely. But as we move forward, there's something that shifts, especially, you know what, this to me is stagnant emotional energy. The future is showing where the change really teaches someone something beautifully. We actually just did a reading prior to this, which was all about reaching an advanced shadow stage. If you feel like I've done a lot of shadow work, then you are at a new stage of something. Just as a side note, if you're just looking at this generally, like my life and my family and like the surface kinds of things, then regardless, you got a big lesson to learn with them. And it has a lot to do with who you are. And let's see, how does this student pan out, right? If this is you trying, all right, Ten of Pentacles, well, you pass the test. I heard, I want to do good for myself. I want to do good for my family. So someone could be trying to actually attain Two of Cups. Some kind of emotional connection that's more pure in themselves, with other people. Ace of Cups turns into Two of Cups. But that's a big jump from the page to the 10. We're actually kind of going a little backwards. So this is learning from your family. Oh, so some of you could be having Four of Cups. This family energy and where you came from could be overlapping. Your previous life is overlapping into this life. And I heard that's what's confusing, especially in relation to how you're creating your own life now. And that is the part that's frustrating. Although I sense that it's something that someone is very aware of, because they're like, why am I unhappy? Right? Again, Three of Swords, Four of Cups is like it's ignoring or getting used to pain, so much so. The feeling of uncomfortability, the feeling of disassociation, like isolation. It's isolating these different points that they're so poignant and it's so interesting. I do think it's someone's karma to have a lot of pain in their family. Again, maybe that seems too general. I've been being really open to a lot of things lately. But that's important. I haven't heard anyone come up with an argument about why that isn't important in our learning. All right. That's the end of the story.